Welcome to Conversations with Sloan Ivy. I am Sloan Ivy, and today I have the pleasure of having a conversation with an American artist by the name of Ted Ellis. Ted Ellis is a painter who paints on African American culture, and he has an exhibit here at Houston Museum of African American Culture called Pride, Dignity, and Courage. And today I will get to take you through that exhibit and ask him some questions about his life work and what being an artist and being a painter means to him. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for having us, Mr. Ellis. So, Mr. Ellis, first I want to know, tell me when you knew you wanted to be an artist.
Oh, I started very early. Comic strips, comic books, Sunday comic strips. Sam I Am to Eat, Green Eggs and Ham, the little books. I was an avid reader at a young age, and I had an interest in imagery, and I would just draw what I saw. And so I would say, 4 or 5. And I remember doodling in kindergarten class. When we drew Road Runner, Bugs Bunny, Moby Dick. The other thing that we had, we used to draw these drag strip race cars with these big fat tires, and everybody used to always look at each other and who had the best drawing. So very very early. The maturation in that. You grow, you get a little older. You study, you learn a little bit more, you get a little bit more involved, you get introduced to other aspects of art, art history, art literature, art techniques, and I grew from there.
So about what age did you know that you were really talented at painting?
Okay, so let's dismiss really talented.
Okay.
I never thought I was really talented. I was really passionate.
Okay.
So a lot of passion there. And I wanted to improve. So I will always tell you, I ain't the best artist. I don't think I have much talent, but I just work at it. I constantly work at it. And I knew, you always read that little story about the little choo-choo train. I could do it. Or that tugboat. Well, that's me. I'm gonna work myself through it. And so work looks like a lot of talent. Maybe it's interchangeably, but that's who I am, and that's what keeps me going. And
with the work ethic. Okay.
So I put more work ethic over talent.
Okay.
And talent,
work ethic, talent.
Passion will give you the talent.
It will.
Yeah.
So tell me, okay, what inspires you? Because these are some beautiful paintings over a great rich culture. So what inspires you to paint these?
I've been painting professionally now a little bit over 25 years. Each one of my pieces, I want to tell a story, a narrative. I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with my community. I'm in love with my culture. I'm in love with my history. And so I think it needs to be told through the eyes and the lens of an artist like myself. And so, I have a lot of passion. I have a lot of passion for learning, a lot of passion for history, experience, and so our story needs to have a voice from their own. From the lens and the eyes of an artist. And so that's what I do. So I provide a visual narrative.
Okay.
My Buffalo Soldier, my Tuskegee Airmen, a place of sanctuary, head to the fishing hole where we find peace at, the spirituality and what these religious images provide, the imbuement of the passage of building an individual, not only physically and mentally, but spiritually. And so, it takes on multiple meanings. I always say art, speaks 1,000 words. It says even more than that.
So tell me, when you're looking, that's something I always think about when I go to art galleries. When I'm looking at the painting, I'm like, what does the artist want me to know? Or what do you want people to think when they see your paintings?
Well, I want you to see strength. I want you to see, power, courage, pride, dignity. I want it to be a reflection of who I am, and what we've endured, and without quit, that, we're going to cross the finish line. May not finish first, but we're going to cross that finish line, that we are constructive individuals, that we are builders, that we care, that we have tremendous feeling and passion for each other, and that we are survivors.
Wow, powerful. Okay, so tell me, I want to know your favorite painting. I already picked a few favorites in here, but you tell me yours.
Sentimentally, there's one that really sticks out to me. It's the piece that I did, More Precious Than Gold.
Okay.
And we think about family, we think about community, we think about the past, the present, and the future. And as a father, you know, my most prized possession is my children. And so this piece speaks to, you know, Trayvon Martin, who was killed. And speaking through this painting that's that father, that's his child, his most prized asset. But not only for the father, but for the whole community that's involved in building the future. You know, and you see that this child is being reared and directed in the right manner. I mean, he has books in his hand, but you see this hovering shadow
over him.
And you see the shadow solidifying, you know, with a weapon. You know, very indicative of our most prized possession being a target in a hostile environment. Now, this is America, and this is how I feel. And so, you know, in preparation, when I let my child go, particularly my son, that there's a threat out there. And what happened with Trayvon is so indicative of that. And so this is probably my most sentimental piece. I think the biggest impact has been these two pieces.
Yeah, these are nice. You know, these are very nice.
You know, Journey 1 and Journey 2, from the slave ship to the cotton field, to the boardroom, to the President of the United States and beyond. And I had a strong exhibition for the 150th celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation at Houston Community College. And the space at the University Southeast campus is twice the space, so I made twice the impact. And when I looked at everything in there, I wanted to do one piece that would speak to everything in there. So when that exhibition opened, we unveiled this piece, The Journey 1.
Okay.
So after I went through the presentation, a student in the back raised her hand and says, "Where's the female piece?" So the exhibition ended. It ended in a month, but on the third week, we unveiled the female version of
Look
Journey.
At that.
And you see she's also carrying a child through it all. And so, you know, just strong symbolism and messages in the art. And whether you're 5 years old or 80 years old, something should speak to you. Something should grab you. And, you know, it should teach you something, or it should have you want to ask a question. Why? What's going on here?
So tell me about the 44th president. Tell me about this painting and tell me about the journey of this painting.
Well, let me just tell you. So, you know, towards the end of my exhibition, we had to go here. You know, in prayer, in bending knee, and sovereign to a greater power, so that we could get here, which is Bloody Sunday, which took them 3 tries to cross that bridge, to walk 57 miles to Montgomery, Alabama, to put the pressure on the federal government to usher into the law of the Civil Rights Act of 1965, 64. The death of Dr. Martin Luther King, the martyrdom, you see the bloodshed, the fragileness of Rosa Parks through that dense fog of racism, hate, and prejudice. You know, that sacrifice to sit down and change the course of history.
Yeah.
All of that led up to this opportunity, the 44th President of the United States.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. So now that we're here, tell me about this exhibit here at the Houston Museum, African American Culture. I see pride, dignity, and courage. I've seen those words. I've heard those words a lot. So tell me about it.
Well, it's definitely 25 years of paint in history. It's a progression and a chronology from slavery up through Reconstruction to civil rights to the age of Obama. It touches on multiple themes. Education, lifestyle, politics, service to country. There's a spiritual sense that you see the baptism and the church pieces in there. You see some of the rural scenes. You see the simple living, the pleasures, and just living. You know, through it all, you know, you find a place of resolve, individually and collectively as a community and as a family. and you know, subject matters, the 5 kids at the chalkboard. We own this land, the trilogy of civil rights, I am a man, equal rights for all, one man, one vote. My precursor to the President of the United States, Obama, check for president. Surviving Katrina.
Yes.
You know, what does that mean and imply? You know, this family on the rooftop waving an American flag. Well, we always had an American flag in our family. My dad was a Korean veteran, and so I saw the flag. So how could you leave a person who has served his stranded for days on a rooftop? What country does that? And so, tremendous amount of inequities in our country that we have to heal and we have to build to ensure that we're accountable for what the Constitution stands for every living human being. You know, the decency of living, of being human, and being mindful of that. The journey 1, the journey 2, from the slave ship to the cotton field to the boardroom to the President of the United States. Wow, that's powerful.
Yes.
That's powerful. So I want to encourage us to see that no matter how tough the circumstances have been or will continue to be, is that we rise. We continue to rise. We have an insurmountable amount of faith and hope and belief in a higher power to sustain us. All of that I want to come out of this exhibition. And if I do that, then I'm using my passion in a way that is extremely purposeful in healing. And that leaves me with a wonderful legacy.
Last question for you. If you could have a conversation with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Wow, dead or alive? That would be all of my ancestors. I mean, that would just be a lot of history and wealth, you know, how they endured, where they came from, you know, where they at right now. So I can have an idea into the future. I already do, but it wouldn't be just one person. It would be a multiple of a conglomerate of a lot
of people.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a different experiences. It's sort of like when I travel and I go into different communities. You know, there's a different experience. You know, there are environmental factors, there are communal factors, there are geographical factors that influence, and so you learn a little bit every time. So if I had a chance to sit with my ancestors, man,
the things you could learn,
the things I would learn would be incredible. So and it would be a plethora of wisdom and information versus having it from one transparent person or individual.
That is wonderful. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for sharing your passion with us, for doing this. This is beautiful. If you are in the Houston area, this exhibit will be here to June 25th. June 25th. Please come by, see Mr. Ellis, see this beautiful, beautiful story of pride, dignity, and courage. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Sloan Ivy. I love that name.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful artworks I got to show you today. And I hope that you felt the stories that Mr. Ellis paints through his pictures. I hope you felt them come alive. And that is what it's about, sharing your story. So go out and share your story today. Have a conversation with someone. And I'll see you next time.